What is up everyone, Sara Dietschy, rhymes with Peachy here, coming at you with a third installment of an AI tools video. We should probably name this as an official series or something. If only I had something that would help me with this. Did AI come up with a cool title name or no? Okay, for this third installment, I'm gonna focus on productivity. We're gonna focus more on writing, but of course that is always adjacent to content creation and videos because, well, that is my life. Videos are my life. You guys are my life. So there is something for everyone, even you corporate types here, because I'm gonna talk about Microsoft 365 CoPilot. They just rolled this out to enterprise customers. It is no longer in beta. We're gonna talk more about Notion, but specifically Notion AI with custom AI blocks, as well as AI and properties. But more importantly, we're gonna talk about our lovely sponsor of this video, Vimeo. Yes, that Vimeo. Vimeo is the sponsor of today's episode, and this is just super easy for me to talk about because, well, Vimeo has been a part of my content creation stack for a while now. I use the comments to send feedback to video editors, as well as to just web host videos that are a little bit more private that I still want to send to people, but they just don't fit on my YouTube channel. Like my cousin's wedding video that I just shot and edited. Okay, so you probably already know about that, right? The aesthetic UI that people use for web hosting all the time, but they are much more than that now. Vimeo is now the destination for one-take video editing and content creation, and they just announced a lot of powerful AI features. Okay, look at this. This is my favorite feature. It's basically a mobile teleprompter. How cool is that? But this script was generated by AI. Okay. Let me show you how to use this. Okay, we're gonna start on mobile. I basically clicked on the Vimeo app, hit record video, and now it's saying, hey, would you like us to, just generate a script for you? Why, yes, I would love that. Let's see. Write a 45-second script announcing. Why am I so terrible at typing? Vimeo's new features. They include an AI script generator, text-based video editing, and a built-in teleprompter, both for mobile and web. Tone. I would normally choose confident, but hey, we need to have some fun. What about inspiring? Generate. This is where all the magic happens. Perfect, amazing. Okay, but it doesn't stop there. You guys know here on this channel, half of my videos are scripted, the other half is complete chaos. I like to keep you on your toes. And so for that heavily scripted stuff, I use a big teleprompter setup, so I'm a fan of the Tele. Vimeo has one built in. Watch this, watch this. I love this so much. We hit save. You guys see this right now? So as you're recording, the teleprompter is automatically going to move as you're talking. I've already used this multiple times for branded IG stories that I've done for another brand, and it just saved me so many just the awkward takes of trying to remember what I am saying. Okay, let me actually show you how this works here. Through using it, I've kind of found my sweet spot. So I lower the text size a little bit, so there's a little bit more on each sentence, and then I go to speed and I go to 47%. I'm a little bit of a fast talker, but since I have a lot of experience with a teleprompter and there's a science to it, this allows me enough time still to kind of look off from the camera to make it look natural. Okay, and remember, this script was made with AI, so fancy. Wait, we need inspiring music. Cue the music. Introducing Vimeo's new script writing AI features, text video editing tools, and built-in teleprompter for mobile and web. With their cutting-edge technology, creating captivating videos has never been easier. For our first take, that wasn't terrible. Okay, so you can watch it back. You can trim the clip just like you would normally do in a video editor. But say you want to take it a step further and you want to do the text-based video editing. Now, I need to mess up on purpose so I can show you the text-based editing. With their cutting-edge technology, creating Okay, I messed up there, so I'm gonna go back. We're gonna press next, and boom. Literally, that was only 2 seconds from stopping the recording and hitting next, and we already have the transcript. And so this is where I'll show you how to edit this based on the text. With their cutting-edge technology, creating... Okay, see I messed up there, so I'm gonna highlight it. Going to select everything. The dots are pauses, so I wanna delete that as well, so I hit delete, boom. We'll start here by just selecting the word. Both the mobile and web. With their cutting-edge technology, get ready to unleash your creativity. Killed it, crush it. I'm just gonna delete the pauses at the end. Latest features. Boom! Done. So easy. God, we are living in the future. So from there, the video is going to automatically save and upload to your Vimeo account, where you can then share via text, via embedding on your website, wherever you want to put it. And you can also download the video and save it to your camera roll. Okay, so features like this are so fun for me to talk about because one, I've been using Vimeo for years, but two, they just announced these features and they have already found their way into my workflow like all of the time. Now, everything I just showed you is also on the web. Vimeo's AI script generator can help you whip up a script super quick, and then you can hop into a teleprompter and start your meeting with very focused points. Or maybe you're doing a webinar, teaching a class, doing training, and having that teleprompter right there is so handy to have to stay on point. And also, well, make it look like you're still staring at the person on the other side. So if you want to check out all of these brand new features from Vimeo, check out my link in the description below, and let's move on to the rest of the video. We're just getting started. Okay, Notion AI. I use Notion a ton, and we've already briefly covered this in a previous AI video, but if you need a refresher of AI in Notion, the core of it is essentially like ChatGPT inside Notion, inside your workflow. But what is really handy is you can highlight what you want AI to like work on or change, and then edit or replace your text with the AI output right there in your Notion page. So I'll just give you one quick example of using Ask AI or Command J, Control J. But this is a little bit more of a niche example. So this is making copy for my website for these super sick Stay Peachy trucker hats. This is more of like a prompt, which I would be writing in the AI, but since I've already written it out, I'll just say, do this. AI is writing, and boom. Are you a creative who's always editing or filming videos? Say goodbye to bad hair days with our Stay Peachy trucker hat, etc. And so this is essentially the output that I got down here. So these are the two outputs that I got. I essentially combined both of them and then added a little bit of the human input, right? Because rarely is this gonna give you like something perfect that you can just copy and paste. And I think I came out with a pretty good caption. Are you tired of bad hair days while editing or filming your videos? Which I actually really liked that part because yes, I don't always look normal like this. Fear not, my friend, for the Stay Peachy trucker hat is here to rescue. Made with premium materials that feel as soft as a peach, this hat will make you the talk of the town, or at least the talk of your next Zoom meeting. Maybe, not guaranteed. So the key things from AI that I really liked is the bad hair days part, and also the premium materials that feel as soft as a peach. I thought that was so smart. Sometimes robots are smarter than you, and you just have to admit it. So Notion actually took this a step further and said, hey, you can now use AI with properties in a page and also custom blocks that you can also use within buttons and all of those things. So let's start with AI autofill in properties. This title generation demo is already something that I'm using in my personal video database, and it is super helpful to just get the juices flowing. Okay, so step one is you create a new property and you're going to select the AI custom autofill. And then in that box of text, what to generate, I'm gonna put generate 10 exciting and clickable YouTube titles from the content in name. So I'm saying in name because that is the title of another property titled name in the far left-hand corner, and that's where I put the gist of every video that I'm gonna make. So a lot of times when I have an idea for a video that I wanna make, I'm not already thinking about the title, but I'm gonna have to type out a temporary title no matter what. So we might as well get some title ideas going. So this is going to take the name of the video, and then it's going to generate 10 title ideas for me. This is the prompt that I use, but obviously you can get as specific as you want to try to tweak those outputs to match up more of your style of video. So as you can see here, it's already giving me good ideas on what to name this video that you're watching right now. Unleashing the power of AI, the latest features in Vimeo, Notion, Photoshop, and more. Revolutionize your workflow with these crazy new AI features. I mean, these are grabby, these are good. Some of these words like revolutionize your workflow, unleashing the power, transform your creative process is very good because I'm not a title thumbnail girl, so I am never thinking of those catchphrases, which helps me a ton to just generate more ideas and more options. If you want to regenerate your output, you can click that little wand to the right. And then if you want to regenerate all of the outputs, you can do that within property settings and just say update all pages. This is cool. Okay, so even though I don't have a personal use case for this, here is one more example. Here I've created a fake user who just tested out the new iPhone 15. How exciting. But maybe before clicking in on their page, I want to create a high-level summary of that customer's experience. So this is where having those other AI property settings come in handy. So we have AI summary and then the key info. I used AI to whip up a fake user story and then created an AI property that says, hey, how about you summarize that every time we add a new user and there's content to their page. And so that way now when I look at the user, John Doe, okay, great, I get the general gist of how he feels about testing out the new iPhone 15 before I even click in on his page. Okay, so one more Notion feature. Let's talk about buttons. So buttons in Notion aren't new. They essentially enable you to easily replicate content or repeat an action at a press of a button. So it's essentially like you creating a template, but the outside of it, the wrapper of it, is a pretty button. But what is new are the custom AI blocks. Now you can put these inside of buttons or you can just stick them in Notion pages. So the custom AI blocks are super effective if you just stick in a process that you repeat a ton, that you need AI, put that in a template that you use a lot. And so the example that I use here is essentially creating like a Twitter thread from a script. Okay, let's go into my test video database and let's say, oh, what is a video that I want to make? Building the perfect desk setup and all of the cool accessories that I used. My titles are getting a little bit more colorful now that I know title ideas are being generated. So if I open up this video page, you will see that, oh look, I have a custom AI block ready for me to hit generate after I've actually written this script. It actually took me a minute to write this to get the perfect output that I want. So you definitely have to get creative and just try a lot of things when it comes to a AI prompt that you're gonna use for your more niche use cases. Obviously here, if it's a shorter video, I'm gonna change this number to maybe 8 paragraphs. And I use the word paragraphs to essentially describe tweets because it's kind of confused. Like, does the AI know what a tweet is? I don't think so, because it didn't work the first time I did this. And so I use my second AI video as an example where I have this super long script. I basically shouted out like 14 different tools. So it's a lot of text to sift through. And something that I found when using a custom AI block, all of your content has to be untoggled. So this is initially how my script was, and it's not gonna read what's inside the toggle unless it's untoggled. And so after the video is written, you basically just hit generate and boom, here is the output. It actually does a very good job in organizing the ideas. So, you know, it clumped together Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and DALL-E. It understood that, hey, those are all text to image generators, right? It didn't like talk about Stable Diffusion over here with Avatar AI. So if you want to pause the video and read some of these, some of them are good, and well, just some of them are not. All of the titles are super well written and grabby, but probably all of these outputs, I would definitely have to tweak a little bit if I was actually making a Twitter thread about all of these apps. But I think the point of a lot of these tools is it just gets you started. It makes tasks less daunting. I'm not the biggest fan of writing, but honestly, I find myself writing with this job like all of the time, more than I actually video edit and more than I film. Which if Sarah from high school was like looking into the future to me, she'd probably be like, Sarah, what are you doing? You like to edit videos. Why are you writing so much? You know, I ask myself that question, Sarah, in the past every day, trying to figure it out. But hey, AI is helping me bridge a little bit of the gap, okay? Okay, last but certainly not least, number 3, Microsoft 365 CoPilot. Now, this is the only AI tool that I've talked about in these videos that I actually don't have access to. So a lot of the demos will be from like Microsoft themselves, but because it is now out, we have real life demos. It's not just pretty promo videos. And why I feel like it's so important to share about this is, yes, a big chunk of my audience are creators, are individuals that maybe work with creative freelancers, but I feel like I got some corporate types, okay? Raise your hand, leave a comment down below if you work at a place that lives and dies by Microsoft 365. Did that rhyme? Did I just drop a rhyme. And what I know about these corporate types is you like your tools, you like your workflows. I know this because my mom works for a company who uses a lot of Microsoft 365 tools. And when I mentioned CoPilot to her, she's like, Sarah, I already have too many tools to worry about. This seems like too much AI this, AI that. It seems intimidating. Just leave me alone. Well, CoPilot is something that works within Microsoft 365. It works with existing tools. And so I kind of want to share the gist of it so it becomes more approachable to you. So you might actually want to dabble. Okay, so let's pull up some of these examples here. Creators, freelancers, small, medium businesses. If you are signing off now, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out my Vimeo link down in the description. Okay, have they left? Are they gone? It's just you and me now. Okay, so let's start with CoPilot directly in Microsoft Excel. Now, when I say CoPilot, that is essentially Microsoft's name for, just think of it as their like AI chatbot in all of their different apps. So having this in Excel looks extremely cool and very helpful. And as someone who hates spreadsheets, you know, I would love to just talk in natural language instead of figuring out formulas and things. So as you can tell here, you go over to CoPilot in the settings and just in natural language, you're asking, hey, analyze this quarter's business results and summarize 3 key trends. And it looks at all of the data present and it just does it. And it outputs it right in that little chat with CoPilot. Psh, mind blown. So cool. And if you zoom in a little bit, there's this little button that says explain, where I assume it's going to explain to you how it got to that outcome. And it will show you all of the data that it pulled from the spreadsheet. I love this. So this actually feels very familiar to something that I mentioned in my first AI video, and that is Adept. Now, Adept does this functionality, but across all websites. So think one generalized chatbot that can do things across Google Sheets, Craigslist, and Salesforce. Now, if Adept can crack that code and figure that out, that is going to be extremely powerful. But the question is, in the time that Adept can become super powerful, will every company, product, and service already have their own AI technology built in to where you really don't need something like Adept? I still think it's an appealing idea to have like one layer of AI that sits over everything that you can interact with, like, you know, your same chatbot, no matter what website you're on. Maybe it can get to know you, you know. But yeah, that's gonna be harder and harder as individual companies make their own, because obviously they're gonna know their own products the best and they can really custom tailor the experience and just make it more useful, you know? Okay, so what about CoPilot directly in Microsoft Word? Well, you can pull content from other Microsoft apps. So here in this example, you can see we are pulling some text directly from a OneNote. This is going to save so much procrastination time of you just sitting in front of your computer and being like, oh, I have to write this long business proposal and I have notes over here and I have to copy and paste and blah, blah, blah. Well, hey, with CoPilot, you can just say, hey, I need a business proposal about these things, and it's going to intelligently pull from OneNote and maybe this email over here from Outlook, maybe another Microsoft Word document over here. And as it starts writing, you're gonna see what source material it's pulling from below. So you can see here the OneNote and the Microsoft Word doc. Now, something to keep in mind, the data used by Microsoft's LLM to generate these responses is only present through the prompt that you give it. And so it doesn't store this data to then train that language model more, which I know is super important for security purposes. I learned a lot on why companies use Microsoft 365 after I tweeted about it. I had some very passionate responses for security purposes, for version control, and well, that they almost have a monopoly at the enterprise level at this point. But yeah, I feel like that is just important to mention as we go into our last example, and this is the really powerful one. So this is business chat with CoPilot. Now, since I don't daily drive 365, I use Slack instead of Teams, I use Google Docs instead of Microsoft Word a lot of the time. I don't entirely understand the difference between business chat and Teams. Business chat is a totally separate tab from Teams, and the CoPilot chat is in the business chat section. I feel like CoPilot could just be pinned at the top of Teams because I feel like that's what people use the most, but I digress. I don't know. I don't understand this world. Now, this is cool. This is just super cool. So this is essentially like your own private chat GPT that pulls from the entire Microsoft ecosystem. So it understands permissions, it understands your own OneNote, Microsoft Word, your calendar, your Outlook email. And then it understands the permissions of, Susie's OneNote that you're invited to over here. And so it's very smart, and you can essentially ask it anything. So I really like the example that they gave in this one video where they asked, did anything happen yesterday with Fabricam? And then it just outputs why, yes, here's a summary of developments related to Fabricam yesterday. Mona sent an urgent email saying there is a problem with the lead time in the agreement. Next bullet point, there were also updates to the project checklist, March planning presentation. And then finally, number 3, the final contract was sent for review. So you get a high-level summary of everything that was going on with Fabricam. And then this stuff is hyperlinked to, like a OneNote or a Word document or other things that you can click on, but it also has its references down below. So you can see it links directly to the agreement, and then there's a project checklist, and what I believe that logo is Loop. And then you have a PowerPoint presentation for March planning. Now this is so cool. This is so powerful. Oh my God, if this existed in Slack and I could just say, hey, yes, you have access to my Google Drive and my Google Sheets and Notion, and you can have access to all of this and just be my own assistant. Wow. I'm basically making this section of this video to send to my mom where I'm like, hey, use these features. See, your daughter told you about them. It's not as intimidating, and hopefully you find this useful as well. Now, something that I just briefly mentioned is Loop. You're like, what is Loop? Is this another app that I have to worry about? So this is essentially Microsoft's version of Notion. They just copied the entire Notion application. It's different in that it pulls from the Microsoft 365 family. So it's more about, hey, let's share a table with this OneNote over here. And if you update it in Loop, it'll stay updated in OneNote. And then that same OneNote table, you can also put a live view of that in Outlook. And then everyone's just editing this same table in their email, but also in Loop, which is the Notion copycat, and here and there, which can be super powerful. But then also I feel like could be super annoying when people don't understand that, hey, this data that you're editing isn't just a table in OneNote, but it's also a table over here and over there. So I get what Microsoft is trying to do. And if it truly works, I can see this being just extremely helpful. For the people who are in the 365 ecosystem, I think it's going to be much easier for you to just like hop in and start using CoPilot in the apps that you're already using. Now, learning Loop, which is a brand new application, a lot of people have been saying, hey, this could have just been a revamped OneNote. Why didn't you just add some of these features to OneNote? But I really think they wanted to capitalize on people's obsession with Notion, and they wanted to make it all pretty and snappy and fun blocks. I mean, once you hop into Loop, creating different blocks and how text interacts with things is like identical to Notion. It's crazy. Not crazy, it's almost expected of Microsoft at this point. They have a pretty bad habit of just like, oh, Slack is cool, let's make Teams. Notion, nice, let's make Loop, and let's just bundle it up in our enterprise subscription and basically offer it to people next to nothing, so there's no competition in the marketplace for these tools. That's another discussion. Okay, well, hey, I think this was a productive video. Fun fact, I had many more points, many more tools, but as I started just blabbing, I was like, I don't think I want this video to be an hour long. So like always, I think there's going to be a part 4 and maybe a part 5. There's so many new features and so many new tools coming out every single day. I want to keep making these videos, but I want to make sure they're things that you're actually going to use. And so even though there's a lot of fun apps coming out here and there, I almost want to make sure that they don't fizzle out immediately and they're actually, useful in your workflow, no matter if you're more on the text side or the video side or the photo side. I kind of missed the boat with the Photoshop beta stuff. I'm using that all the time. So maybe I'll throw that into the next video when that is released to the public. It's good. If you haven't downloaded the latest Photoshop beta, please do. Okay, so if at any point in this video you were like, huh, that's a useful bit of information, I'm gonna try that. Thanks, Sarah. can I ask you a question? Can you like and subscribe? I'm just noticing that I'm kind of close to 1 million subscribers. That would be amazing to hit this year. So just hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you like the video. And thank you so much, Vimeo, for sponsoring this video. It is seriously a awesome list of features that they just released, and I am using it all of the time. Thank you for that teleprompter feature. That is so cool. All right, like, sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, stay peachy, everyone. Bye.